got a joke.
Okay, welcome back. Let's go for it.
That's coming strong. What does your uncle not want at the table on breakfast time?
Oh, I don't know.
A croissant.
Oh, we hate a croissant-y. Thank you for laughing. That tipped the scales on the dad joke. And for some, it's going to take a while to land even. But I look forward to hearing your little chuckle a little bit later, 5 minutes from now, when you catch the joke. No, we love our croissants, whether they are happy or cross. There is a reason why some simple pleasures feel truly luxurious. And I think few things compare to the perfect croissant.
Absolutely, because it's got to be golden, it's got to be flaky, and it's got to be buttery.
Oh, next level.
And that's a Woolies croissant that I'm actually describing. Nothing short of an absolute masterpiece. But what really makes it so irresistibly good? I think, Graham, you've got the answer to that.
Well, I did a deep dive on your behalf. I put myself through this, guys. I was willing to do it, okay? A huge amount of craft, care, and unbelievable quality in the ingredients that certainly set Woolworths croissants a cut above the rest. In fact, they are the croissant to choose. Take a look. I think we can all agree there is something magical about the perfect croissant. Those buttery, flaky layers that just melt in your mouth. Now, have you ever wondered how Woolies just get it so right? Where do their perfect croissants come from? Well, today I kind of feel like Charlie being allowed into the chocolate factory. I'm at the incredible Amaro Foods, who take a great deal of pride in their craft, using very traditional techniques and only the finest ingredients to craft the perfect croissant experience. Tony, there is a lot of love. Okay, yeah, a lot of delicious smells and a lot of baked goods, but a lot of love and passion in the space. So I can understand why Woolies came a-calling. It is a perfect marriage here. But maybe take us back into your history a little bit. How did this relationship form and how has that evolved over the years?
My dad studied baking in Portugal. So we're talking about the late 50s, mid-late 50s. Came to the country in 1964. He was a qualified baker, found a place to work. Eventually took over the company and Woolworths approached him. So we started supplying Woolworths in 1974. So that's where it started. I, for one, never thought I'd be a baker, but I needed to earn pocket money. So, and within that space, I fell in love with the science and the art of baking. And I always say to people, you know, Woolworths have made us better. Their values align with ours, so it's been really a phenomenal relationship.
For Woolies, it's about creating those memorable food experiences, actually taking you to that dream destination through the highest quality. And at the heart of that magic is the purpose-driven, the meaningful partnerships they have with their most trusted suppliers. Antonio, first of all, I'm going to shake your hand and say, congratulations, man. Your success speaks for itself in a very competitive space. But I think what's really hit home, it's the passion in this space, the love of baking. So where did that begin for you?
My father baked a lot at home. I kind of was involved in the baking industry itself, coming to the factories, and eventually I started working for the business.
I know a lot goes into the journey from flour to croissant. Maybe you can walk us through the evolution of the croissant.
Well, we receive a very special type of flour from our supplier, and we then take that, we then mix it with our water, different ingredients, and then you make yourself a dough. Once that dough is made, you then divide it. You rest it in the fridge for 16 hours. It's a very long process. You rest at about 5 degrees. Once that's done, the dough then is taken out of the fridge. It then gets pressed into a square block. They then take the butter. That butter is then mixed, so it's whipped all together to make it nice and pliable. That butter is then divided into specific sizes. That butter is then put into another machine that then makes it into a nice block. And then you sandwich that together. So 2 pieces of dough with your filling of butter on the inside. Your dough then gets laminated and then you rest it again in the fridge. Once that process is then done, you then can take your croissant and you laminate it again. After you laminated your dough, you will then take it and cut it into the shape that you want, and then you roll it up into your croissants. Bake them. As you're baking, that butter is melting and absorbing into the dough, and then it leaves these nice little gaps on the inside. Then cools down, and then you pack it in the specific type of packaging it needs before it's delivered to the customer.
I know there are quite a few twists and turns in the process. How long does it typically take to create a croissant?
Taking everything into account from your mixing time, your resting time, your lamination, your proving, your baking, You're looking at a process that could take up to 48 hours.
Wow, I am definitely not the right type of person to work here. First of all, I don't think I'd be fast enough. They are churning them out, and I think I'd be a little too tempted. They smell and look delicious, just like you'd find them in a Woolies store. But what blows my mind is there is a quality control check in literally every step of this croissant journey. And so far, it's almost been 100% pass rate. They are that good.
We're always striving to get the best possible product, and that goes for everything. We make sure that our room is temperature controlled. That's why this room is so cold right now. And that's to ensure that we have our butter at the right temperature. Your dough needs to be a specific temperature. Dough needs to rest for a specific amount of hours. And all that production planning and manufacturing time is factored into making a very good croissant. And then there's also the fact of the equipment. So you need to go get very good equipment that's going to give you what you want, and then maintain that equipment to a very good standard so that it can deliver every single day. We try and stick as much as we can to traditional values. Keep it simple, keep it old school. You know, it's worked in the past, we can continue to make it work. It's just about trying to revolutionize everything to keep up with demand.
It becomes pretty evident pretty quickly that quality, and only the finest quality, is at the heart of everything here at Amaro Foods. And that leans into the incredible expertise of their very skilled bakers, some of the best in the land, honoring time-honored techniques, and then, of course, only the finest ingredients. And I think you can tell. Melt in your mouth.
I think what stands out really for me is the notion of continuous improvement. I believe that is beyond a value, that's a way of working. Our values of integrity, being agile, being customer-focused, they align with Woolworths, doing what's right for people, doing what's right for the environment. We align with those values. And the overarching belief is to make a difference and to continuously improve. So we push each other, I believe.
Wow, what an amazing group of people. What an amazing croissant. I now understand what they mean when they say all butter. This was incredible. I now also understand what Woolies mean when they say only the best will do for them and us, their customers. In fact, I think it makes it the only croissant to choose.
More butter, more better.
I didn't realize how many layers of... I felt very privileged being welcomed into kind of that kind of generational wealth of knowledge when it comes to baking. So to the family, and I mean everyone in that factory kind of felt like family. Just amazing to see artisanal baking on scale like that. So there is a reason why Woolies, their croissants kind of feel like you've just got them from the best bakery in town, because it is the best bakery in town, literally. And yeah, that was magical.
Oh my gosh, I don't want to have a croissant right now.
Security trying to stop me with my croissants, can you believe it? I was like, no, you can pry them out of my dead cold fingers. But look at it, seldom does something taste as good as it looks in these kind of beauty shots, but Woolies delivers. And you've got to try them for yourself. Simple as that. You can get their range of croissants, and there's a nice range in-store, online, or on the app.